Imagine sitting in a cozy restaurant, savoring a meal, when a familiar melody drifts through the air, a song that feels like it was chosen just for you. What you might not realize is that every note, beat, and genre selection is a calculated part of the menu. Restaurants have long weaponized music as a stealthy sales tool, curating playlists designed to loosen your inhibitions, speed up your eating, and nudge you toward that second glass of wine or slice of cake. The science of how restaurants use music to make you spend more hinges on tempo, volume, and genre, a trifecta of psychological triggers that transform background noise into a profit-driving force. The concept of sonic seasoning isn't new. Since the 1960s, studies have shown that music alters our perception of taste, mood, and even time. But in the competitive world of hospitality, restaurants have refined this into an art form. Fast casual chains deploy upbeat pop anthems to hustle diners out the door, while fine dining establishments float classical arrangements to justify $20 desserts. The tempo of a track, measured in beats per minute, BPM, is one of the most potent tools. Research from the University of Oxford reveals that faster music, around 120 beats per minute or higher, subconsciously accelerates eating speed by up to 20%. Diners chew quicker, converse less, and vacate tables faster, a boon for restaurants aiming to maximize turnover. Chains like McDonald's and Chick-fil-A lean into this, using lively playlists to keep the lunch rush moving. Conversely, slower tempos, 60 to 80 beats per minute, encourage lingering. A study in the Journal of Applied Social Psychology found that low-tempo music led patrons to stay 15% longer and spend 20% more on extras like coffee or tiramisu. Volume plays an equally manipulative role. Louder music, around 70 to 85 decibels, creates a high-energy atmosphere, stimulating arousal and impulsivity. This is why bars and nightlife-focused eateries crank up the bass. Patrons order more cocktails and indulge in decadent appetizers. A Cornell University experiment found that raising background music volume by just 10 decibels increased alcohol sales by 30%. But there's a catch. Too much noise can overwhelm, driving customers away. Mid-range volumes, 55 to 65 decibels, strike a balance, fostering comfort without drowning out conversation. A sweet spot for upscale bistros where dessert menus thrive. Genre, however, is where the psychological nuances deepen. Music acts as a cultural shorthand, evoking emotions and associations that shape spending behavior. Classical music, with its connotations of sophistication, tricks diners into perceiving meals as more luxurious and worth a higher price tag. A landmark study in a British wine shop found that playing classical tracks led customers to buy 40% more expensive bottles. Meanwhile, pop or top 40 hits create a sense of familiarity and fun, lowering guards around splurging. Ethnic genres, like Italian folk music in a pasta restaurant, enhance thematic immersion, making patrons more likely to order authentic and often pricier dishes. Even nostalgia plays a role. Baby boomers hearing Beatles tracks may linger longer and order extra courses, while millennials might splurge on artisanal cocktails when indie hits from their college years echo overhead. The interplay of these elements is no accident. Playlists are often timed to the arc of a dining experience. Upbeat tracks during peak hours keep tables turning, while mellower songs dominate later slots to encourage dessert and after-dinner drinks. Some chains even use algorithm-driven services like Mood Media or SiriusXM for business-to-tailor music to customer demographics. A family-friendly pizza joint might blend Disney hits and 80s rock to appeal to both kids and parents, while a trendy sushi bar opts for lo-fi beats to attract Instagram-ready millennials. But the most insidious effect of restaurant music lies in its manipulation of time perception. Slow-tempo tracks stretch minutes, making diners feel they've had a leisurely experience, even if they've only been seated for 45 minutes. This illusion of indulgence primes guests to justify extras like shared desserts or premium wines. Conversely, fast-paced music compresses time, leaving diners with a vague sense of urgency that discourages dawdling over the check. Critics argue that this sonic engineering borders on exploitation, leveraging subconscious cues to override rational spending choices. Yet restaurants defend it as part of experience crafting, akin to lighting or plate presentation. The line between ambiance and manipulation blurs further with emerging tech. Some venues now experiment with AI-powered systems that adjust music in real time based on crowd behavior, optimizing spend per head. Next time you dine out, listen closely. That innocuous background jazz or pulsing dance track isn't random. It's a carefully calibrated soundtrack to your spending. From the moment you sit down to the last bite of chocolate mousse, every note is a silent salesperson, working in harmony with the menu to turn your meal into a multi-sensory and more expensive experience.